And welcome to Seattle Atheist Church. Atheists, agnostics, whatever you like to call yourself, you are welcome here. At Seattle Atheist Church, we call ourselves an atheist church because you will never hear anything supernatural promoted from the podium. Our church is founded on the principles of scientific naturalism and secular ethics. Truth claims are attempted here, and we stand ready to revise our thinking in light of new information. We attempt to be excellent to all conscious beings, and we believe in good, because good works in non-mysterious ways. And if that sounds right to you, then you are probably in the right place. So the way we do it is we have our service, and then afterwards, as part of the service, we get into a small discussion group. And then we'll have some time, free mingle time again at the end. If you are interested in supporting the church financially, there's a donation jar somewhere, or you can see Troy, he's our treasurer. We just had our secular social. It's always the third Saturday of the month. Everyone is invited. And we do this every Sunday at noon, same place, same time. Next week, the topic is going to be, is it immoral to be rich? So without further ado, Bob.
Let me first start saying I'm terrified to give speeches because I'm much more of a music player, not so much a talky person in front of people. Second disclaimer is, after looking at my speech, I worry some of it's conjecture. So if it is, and in the circle, just call me out. I'm going to be like, you should have researched that shit more. Oh, no cursing on the podium. Sorry about that. Okay, wait. Are we allowed?
I don't know.
A little bit, sure. Okay. It's your talk.
I'll make sure I don't sound like a sailor. Okay, so my speech is on music, place, in society. I didn't really know where to start with it, but I'm going to give my own observation of music's place in society and something of a social experiment by improvising my speech halfway with some cliff notes. I feel like too much research ends up being one person just reporting on other people's observations. And maybe that was me being pretentious and that you should have research, that way you know what you're talking about. But on the same token, I've been playing music my whole life, so I feel like my research is my experience. Okay, so what even is music? That's such a strange question, because music has existed in some form or fashion for millennia. And so to start out with, don't you get scared? Some of the earliest ever found instruments were made from swan and vulture wing bones and are between 39,000 and 43,000 years old. So that was the first, that's the oldest instruments that we can find. And then there was research shown that some of our distant ancestors, right just after Neanderthals, showed the physical attributes in the skeleton that they may have been able to sing, but we can't know for sure whether or not they did. Okay, so music it can be so many things, because it can be just vocal, it can be just instrumental, it can be just rhythmic and not even have any kind of tone. And it can start with just drums. And so our musical system, believe it or not, is kind of half made up. It's based upon mathematical relationships between sounds, like harmony is a specific relationship between two notes. But our current system isn't perfect. The 12-tone system, if you know anything about music, our current system has 12 notes that repeat over and over in octaves. And so when you have a harmony, originally when we made the instruments, the harmonies were perfect, and that when you played the two notes, the harmonies were synchronous and you couldn't hear any oscillation. But with our new system, it's frustrating because it's called a tempered tuning system, which means that none of the notes are perfect. And if you listen to a harmony, you can hear oscillation between them, and that's because the system is not perfect. And so what I'm saying with that is that music is made up, the current music we listen to is based on a system that is not necessarily arbitrary, but was a system used to best make music that can have this close relationship. Okay, so this is why I should do less improvisation and more actually preparing. Anyway, music is based on a system that's made up. And let's see. Oh, I came across a really crazy question that said, what came first, music or dancing? Did we make music and then somebody danced to it? Out of necessity, not out of necessity, but out of wanting? Or did somebody dance and then maybe out of necessity make music because of it? So there actually is not a clear answer for that, and I do not know. There are countless ways how music has been used, but my focus today is on actually public influence, because me being a musician, that's kind of what I want to focus on. And I think that we as a society misunderstand how much influence music actually has on public opinion, on mental health, on ideals of that day. Like, music has been used in churches for thousands of years. No, 2,000 at the longest. For hundreds of years to almost, I want to say, indoctrinate people, because you have an idea, and then with that idea you just sing it over and over. And then after a while, like anything that you hear over and over, which we know is indoctrination, it becomes something you believe internally. And I worry that happens. I worry that happens in secular music too. Like, there's lots of songs, one that you might not think about, but the song "I'll Be Watching You," it's a beautiful song, but if you go and listen to it or read the lyrics, it is literally about stalking. And so I really, really worry that lots of music like that we aren't intentional with the ideas that we're conveying, that it can create a lot of ideas in society that become rooted in who we are that aren't necessarily healthy. Another one that I worry about is how it has created an idea of romance that I personally worry is a little bit unhealthy, because I personally kind of believe in polyamory, and I think that monogamy this is my personal opinion, there's no objective, but I think that monogamy is possibly toxic, and that music has helped to reinforce what romance should be, when actually in reality that's never really what love quite looks like. And movies do the same thing. Another thing that one of my friends said about our music is that a lot of the things that music can do for society, art itself can do. Let's see, next thing. Yep, music can influence people's opinions. One thing, this is possibly a little bit more personal about music. I have witnessed myself, and other people have told that in their personal experiences, music for society can be healing, at least personally. Like, just on the way here, when I was terrified to give a speech and currently still am, a song came on. It's a newer song. It said, what is it? Everything you say to me, I believe. And it was about being strong. And that song in particular, just this morning, helps me be strong. So music can be healing, but I think a lot of us can speak to that. Let's see. Music is the language of love. Okay. So, what I've done this week for preparing is not enough empirical research, which I will get better at that. But what I did do is opinions. And so my mom said that it connects people, and even strangers, because they can have it in common, which I think that music is very uniting. And that if you hear a song and you really like it, anybody that you meet from then on out that really likes that song, you will at least have that in common. And I've made tons of friends because we have particular genres in common. And so I think music, as well as being possibly dangerous for indoctrinating people, can bring people together if it's over the right ideas. Now the question is, what is the right ideas is up for debate. Mom said that music can be therapeutic, but also possibly enabling of negative emotions. Like if you listen to a song, how did she word that? I just talked to her yesterday. That if you listen to a song that, if you're in a bad place and you listen to a song that's about that bad thing, if you're not prepared to deal with that emotion, music can make it worse. It can take you to, this is one that I love, that music for a lot of people can take you to a place where you've been before. Like, I've got tons of songs that I know where I heard that song. And whenever I listen to it, it's like a smell. It just takes you right back to where you were. Music can lift your spirits, as she said, to where you can't help but dance, and that's really cute. Music can be very relaxing and take you to a special place. Often takes different people to different places. So that's back to don't know, music is so interesting because, like I said, it is partly made up. And it's not so much, okay, so it is based on mathematical, like the rhythm. If you do much in music theory, the rhythm is, if you like math, it's beautiful. It's patterns. It's 4 beats per measure, 3 beats per measure, and it's just so beautiful how mathematical it is. But it is a system that we made up using math, and it's just so crazy that it's become a thing that is so many things. It can be uniting, it can be healing. But I had a really crazy idea. I wonder if in 1,000 or 2,000 years, if there's a new thing that's like music, but it's using a new sense that we don't have right now. That's like, it's movement in that sense, but not sound, because music is based on sound. And so if we have new senses, or what if we make visual music that's like you just sit and stare at something because that's basically what music is you sit and enjoy something that's a movement of notes in time. I just think music it's so niche, and it has so many ways it can grow. Okay, so another friend of mine named Anna said that it can help us get in touch with our feelings. And this one I personally can attest to is that it can help with self-expression through listening and playing. So what a lot of times, like, it can help you meet people, because if you've heard a song, if you have an emotion and you don't know how to explain it, you can often be like, okay, so this song explains how I feel. So that, I think that's a really good way that music can help people express themselves. Every person has a different interpretation of a song, which is very true. Like, some people might not agree with me that I'll be watching news about stalking, but they'd be wrong. Let's see. She's from Brazil, and so she said that there was actually a movement in Brazil that had music and art that was actually used to protest dictatorship. So, like, music has so many applications. She said music is immortal and helps write a history of feelings, lots of musical movements alongside political changes, which is that, and gives a voice to people for their opinions. Let's see, and my little brother, who is great with words, when I asked, what do you think music's place in society is, his words were very good. He also said, though, that it connects people, and that it gives musicians a medium to express themselves, which me personally is exactly how I feel. Because there's lots of times where I'm like, I don't know how in the world to say what I'm feeling, but I can write it in a song. But just now thinking, we're like back to the point that people can take songs differently. I think that it's a strange place to be, that when you write a song, you're like, this is how I feel, but if you let somebody listen to it, they're going to go, they might hear something different. So I think you can still get things lost in translation. Okay, and then a woman named Gwen that I live with said that music, she said that she's the one that said that lots of things that music can do for society, art in general can do. And she, being a more spiritual person, said that it is healing and is spiritual. And she said it unites people through culture and cultural songs, which is very true. Music has played a huge role in culture. Like, not only, like, you know, when you think of, like, African music and bongos, I don't think it's African drums. But, like, even now, music is part of our culture. Like, rock is American and British culture. Blues and jazz was early 20s culture. Music's place in, like, the 1800s. Blues was actually like slave music. That's where we get blues, is like on the plantations, and that was their way of dealing with life. And something else I wanted to say was that, I don't know if many people know this, but rock and roll started out, I really hated it. I had a history class. Rock and roll kind of came from almost a racist place, because originally there was music called rhythm and blues, which was basically what rock and roll is, but by black people. And then Elvis came along, and he played basically the same stuff. We're like, hold up, we can't call it rhythm and blues, because now it's going to be black music, so let's call it rock and roll. And it's like, what? No, I don't like this. So I'm sorry for all of you rock and roll fans. Your name of your music does come from a racist place, and that they had to change it to something else. Let's see, she said that music can be patriotic, which isn't my favorite thing, but it's true. Worship music can help with worship, but we don't really care about that much in here. Music can help you be frivolous. Music speaks where words fail, and I 1000% agree. And music is feelings put into sound. All subjective ideas, but valid, because I don't know. Let's see, back to other things. Okay, now some interesting things you might not know about of the invention of music and how it is partly arbitrary. Let's see. Okay, so the claim that music can be used to nurture minds, you've heard that Mozart, even babies, can help them be more intelligent when they grow up. I did do research on that, and the findings are inconclusive. And it did come from a study that was actually based on college students and not even kids, because the college students that had listened to music previous to taking a test were better at taking the test. Their minds were clearer, and then they're like, okay, so if babies listen to it, they'll be smart when they grow up. But it's like, I don't know that correlates. I don't know who made that assumption, but they should have done more research than I did for this speech. Let's see. Okay. Okay, another fun thing about music is that the tempered tuning system that we use right now is made up, but it's based on a whole lot of history of us trying to decide what music should sound like. And a lot of the harmonies that we are so used to today were once not even viewed as being musical. Like a major third and a minor third is what makes a chord major or minor. And there was once viewed that both of those were demonic sounding because music grew up in the church. I'm not going to say sadly. Music grew up in the church, and so the word they used to describe was demonic. So a third was not okay, only a first and a fifth, because those could be perfect harmonies. And so same for a seventh and a fourth. They were all like, this is no way the fourth was perfect. They weren't perfect, so they were like, let's not use them. And now in music, let's just play everything. And so I think that music has a whole bunch of future coming where there's going to be, if we listen to the music in 100 years now, we're like, that doesn't sound like music at all. But to them, since they're used to it, it will. In the same way that for us, if somebody from the church in 1500 listened to our music and go, this sounds terrible, but we're like, I love it. Let's see. Ooh, this is my own personal testimony, and I worry how many people actually feel this way. And I think this speaks to how much music can influence public opinion. I used to think that whatever ideas I heard in songs must have some truth to them, or else they wouldn't have become a song. And I really, really felt that way. I was always like, I've heard a song, something like this is powerful, so it must mean something. But after thinking about it and being a musician for so long and writing my own songs, being like, well, if I can put whatever I want into a song and somebody listens to it, anybody else can do the exact same thing. And so it doesn't make their ideas any more or less valid. Like with the I'll be watching you. Like if somebody says, well, that has to be okay, because in a song it's like, no, stalking is not okay. Music, and I believe that music can be used for the perpetuation of dogma, which is bad, but maybe we can use it to reinforce non-dogmatic rational thinking, which is what I'd like to do in this church, because I would like to play music in here, and I get that a lot of people are used to music being in churches, and it's used to make you not think and be only make decisions with your emotions, and I don't want that. But I think music, it helps people come together, because when everybody hears it, they can unite. So if we can, in the church, start doing music, but make it to where we're not uniting over a central dogmatic thing, but unite over the lack of dogma, that would be great. Or if anybody has an idea of how we can implement that, I would love doing that. And I would be more than happy to be the music guy, and until we found more musical people. Oh, and I have found out that music is not universal, and that I have met people that do not like music, and to each their own, and there's plenty of things that everybody's like, I love this, where I might not be the same way, I'm not so much an alcohol drinker, but people who don't like music, that is kind of scary to me. It's like people who don't like chocolate. It's like, that actually exists. To each their own, but I question you and I'm afraid. There's a guy, I know one person or two that don't Stop Believing by Journey, and I'm like, I'm watching you. Okay, and then my last thing was, what if the future of music? Okay, so I guess the central thesis, though, that I was wanting that was all the things I wrote down, that I wanted to make sure that I covered is that music, I think it does influence public opinion, and it influences everybody's state of mind, and I think that modern musicians need to be very intentional with what they're saying, because lots of music, when you listen to the lyrics, like I tell you what's really funny, is there's music that you think the lyrics would be terrible, but then because the music comes from a genre where it usually is not great, and then you listen to the song and go, actually that's amazing, like Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, some of the lyrics in that song, it's, I cannot remember. But anyway, that song is, it has so much like profound meaning. And then you take the opposite swing, and this is controversial unless you're an atheist church, and here we can all probably agree. The song Carry On My Wayward Son, you're like, oh, this is uplifting, I love this song. I'm sorry, I'm going to ruin it for everyone in here. That song is actually about a member of that song converting from atheism to Christianity. So you'll never know exactly what the song is like meaning until you listen to the lyrics. So maybe, but I don't know. My biggest thing is that I hope that society can become more intentional. That way, in the future, like music can be used as like a productive tool and not necessarily just for entertainment, because it does have a byproduct of possibly indoctrinating people. And, okay, so now I think that's end of speech. Don't clap yet, because I'm in shameless self-promotion. Since I'm giving a speech, I have to play a song. Especially since I'm giving a speech about music. And so this is my personal feelings about music in society, because I play music, and what it means to me is, self-expression. It's a song that I wrote, so there shouldn't be any copyright issues. Shouldn't be. You never know. Another thing I found out about music is it's not like in music, there are so many things that are repeated and like chord progressions, and the fact that we have copyrights against music baffles me, because so many songs, I've heard that in another song, why wasn't this one sued like Ice Ice Baby was for being under pressure? I want to run my hands over your lips, make your skin gently move with my fingertips. I want to melt in your arms as you melt in mine. And you'll stare at the brown of your eyes. I want to give you comfort you feel in your heart. But this part of the play may just not be my heart. I hope you feel like dancing when you're out with me. 'Cause that's the only way I could ever this to be. So do you feel like dancing? Do you feel joy in your heart? Do you love yourself when you're alone? I wish that I could tell you what I see in your face. All the lies that I see, I can't help but trace. What you give to my soul, I can't explain in words. But I know that I must be strong so that people don't hurt. I want to give you a world where you realize. And where I'm waking in the morning doesn't take so much time. Hope you feel like dancing when I'm with you. 'Cause you know that's the only way that I can feel. But do you feel like dancing? Do you feel joy in your heart? Do you love yourself and you're alone? 'Cause all I want is happiness in your soul. You make me feel like dancing. Ooh. You make me feel like dancing.